Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 100 and what, Brayden?
63.
163 of Millennial Movie Talk, everyone. You heard it here first. Get excited. We're all here. We're all ready to do it.
Yeah, woo.
Yay.
Yay.
I probably could have sounded a bit more enthusiastic,
We should be enthusiastic. It's been a big week. We've got 2 new movies that we're talking about this week.
And 2 Alexes.
And 2 Alexes.
3.
Got it.
3. Little Alex in the photo.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Can never have too much Alex.
What do you want to start with first? Because we've got a lot to talk about this week. So do you want a nice ease in, or do you want to get right into the heavy
Brayden, I want to
stuff?
know where the hell you are.
I'm in an echo chamber.
We've kidnapped Brayden.
Michaela and I are house sitting at the moment, so I'm not at my usual space.
Right.
Brayden's on the road.
I haven't got my nice camera or anything.
Well,
I haven't got my nice mic.
We had Chris on the road the other week. Now we got Brayden on the road this week.
Yeah. I got a dog I got to look over and check and make sure it's still breathing. So
Everyone's on the road.
16 years old.
16.
16
Sweet
years old.
16. Let's get
Always
the
Very
old
old
boy.
dog. Very old dog. Bless.
He's a good
That's
boy,
it.
though.
Guys,
Yeah,
like,
it's a good
I'm
one.
getting my shit together on my end too. It looks more like non-communal space.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. I'm
Right?
appreciating
I
it.
put him up just for a bit of extra flair in the background. Michael's
You should,
also looking better.
I'm
Michael's
not
on-
on a laptop anymore.
Michael's not on a laptop. It's incredible.
Michael's looking better. So now we just got Michael's internet issues to worry about.
Look, that's not going away anytime soon.
Michael
so-
also sounds better with a microphone in front of his mouth.
Yep.
We're going to
Sounds
get
like-
there, everyone, basically. And Christian's French.
There will be a week. There will be a week where all of us will have our shit together at the same time, and it's going to be mind blowing.
How's the
Yeah.
sale going on the Roadcaster, Braden?
I have one more mic to sell,
Yeah.
which is possibly going to be tomorrow if my family's home, because I'm obviously not home to sell it. So,
The Roadcaster, though, we're selling the big boy.
oh, Roadcaster! I just had someone offer 300 for it, and I said, God no.
I'll send that man to the bank to get more money.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
worth
Yeah,
more
I
than
think
that.
you're the one selling this, Braden, and not
We-
Shopee, because Shopee would just start yelling at someone for that.
We bought that for $800.
Yep.
More
Yeah.
close to
And
900.
I'm selling it at a very reasonable, quite low price because we
$799.
recommended retail. No. Someone can snatch that up if they want it for your streaming services or for your.
It is
podcast.
much better that Braden's in charge of all of this because I would yell at people.
Yeah, I sell stuff all the time on like Gumtree and Marketplace and eBay
And the
shit.
street, you know.
And just hawking out in the street, just like, hey yo, you want to buy this?
Bills don't pay themselves. You got to sell the body.
That's it.
Um,
Oh well, that's my other job. Greenlight comic. No. Speaking of comics, segue. The Boys.
Oh, we're starting off with the boys.
I'm starting off with The Boys.
we
We've
might
got
as
2
well.
big reviews, and we're going to let people simmer and what do they think of Thor? What do they think of Black Phone? That's all coming later.
We liked one more than the other, as the case with all things when there's pairs.
Yep.
Anyway, Christian, you and I watched a show. We've been watching a show throughout this last few weeks, and it's called The Boys. I'm not sure if anyone's heard of it. It's,
A few people might have heard of it.
yeah, it's
It's
pretty.
from a small company called Amazon.
I mean, even a small country hick town like Adelaide has the boys posters all throughout the city.
Oh, we're a country hick town.
Yeah, we're a we're just a little
We're
outback,
a flyover state.
like an outback steakhouse of a town.
Hate that we're a country hick town. Anyway, so The Boys season 3 ended last week. We're here to talk about it. I don't have COVID, I swear.
Sure.
Had COVID. Now I don't.
But yeah, look, we spoke about the last few episodes last time, didn't we?
Mhm.
Did we speak about episode 8 and 9?
I don't think we've spoken about episode 9, but definitely I mentioned 8, I believe, one week.
Yep. Well,
Herogasm.
we love Herogasm.
We do love Herogasm.
I've heard the finale. It didn't have like a lot of great moments because the few episodes before were so great.
Mhm.
But then the finale, what it did have is the big
The sauce.
coming together.
Had the
of
sauce.
it. Yeah, there was a huge confrontation between multiple parties.
Mm.
Try not to spoil this.
Yeah, we can't really spoil it too much for in case you haven't watched the show, and then obviously you have people like Michael and Braden who haven't seen the show. We don't want to spoil for them, but this season we had a lot of confrontations we've been waiting for, and then there was a lot of team swapping, I guess we can say.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Yeah,
Wasn't that in Herogasm episode?
no, there's a lot of semen swapping, Braden.
Yes.
Ooh.
Look, this show is amazing. Right, the writing right now is on another level. But like, just these interactions with the characters, like they've been building a lot of them up for so long, and then there's even still the enigmas like Black Noir, who in the last few episodes, like they just blew up what he was like. And then we have Homelander, who kind of we're switching it up on Homelander finally.
Homelander
Yeah,
got some morals.
he did. Homelander got a bruise.
Yeah, and a
Without
blood nose.
spoiling too much. And a blood nose. Homelander got a bloody nose.
We'd never seen Homelander bleed or get hurt before.
Yeah, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it's really hard to spoil, but I really the finale's got a lot of people mixed on it. I personally loved it. It was much more of in terms of writing, it was more well written than big moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there was just a lot of beats. It's hard to explain, but like I loved everything that happened, but like it's not standouts that maybe the other two season finales were. It did something that I didn't want it to do, but after they did it, I'm okay with how it's looking for the next season.
Yeah, there's not as like a big moment to kind of call to like Herogasm, but like it was good. It like Alex said, it really hit emotional tones. We saw a whole nother side of Homelander at the same time as him being humbled. That's the word I was looking for earlier.
Humbled, nice.
Humbled. Homelander has been humbled.
He's a humble boy now.
That's right. Well, that's a stretch, but
but like obviously we're beating around many bushes here, like a Herogasm.
Hey.
There's just too much we can't. There's a lot we want to say, but a lot we can't because of spoilers.
Yeah. So
go watch
you
The
guys
Boys.
Want to watch? Go watch The Boys.
Please
Maybe
go
we can
watch
have a
The
chat
Boys.
about that.
Yeah.
I find it really interesting, like how well the Garth Ennis comics have been adapted into TV shows that have been really successful.
This
really
is actually
good.
better than the comics, and everyone.
Yeah.
This is like widely agreed on that the show's better than the comics.
Well, it's super interesting because like both Preacher and The Boys are things that have been from Garth Ennis. Like it's incredibly interesting to see how both of them have done really well for themselves, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, that man is messed up and writes some crazy weird shit.
Yeah, Preacher's
I mean,
pretty great.
I've never seen the comics, but from what I've heard, the changes in the show are, if anything, expanding on the characters. But you were telling me about Black Noir earlier.
Noir's super different in the comics than he is in the show. Like basically the only thing about him is that he wears a black suit and doesn't talk. That's the only same thing.
Whereas in the show, they just humanized the hell out of him. Like, they had me crying for Black Noir just because he's had such a horrible life.
I just remember back in season 1 where it's like, not you, Noir, you're doing great.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love The Boys.
Yeah.
And everyone please go watch The Boys.
It's really good to see with these these adaptations where it's been years since the original release of the stuff. Like same thing with Invincible. Like the TV show, like when you've got another 10 years to think about pacing and how you want to tell your story for a wider market, you can edit it down to make it a really strong, really strong product.
Chris, what do we like? What do we like more, The Boys or Invincible?
Oh, Give me Invincible, another season of Invincible, because we've had 3 seasons of The Boys.
I think I'm more high on Invincible. I went through and read everything of Invincible, and I still haven't.
You got the big ones.
Yeah, I have it all. I've read all of Invincible. I haven't finished all of The Boys. I don't think I've even read the first omnibus of The Boys.
Yeah, I'd be more quick to recommend The Boys to people. Like,
of course, it's more accessible. It's not animated. People, the fact that it's animated will
throw people
off Invincible.
Yeah, that's true. I did introduce it to some people who didn't watch the whole first episode and stopped watching, and it's like, okay, you missed it.
Yeah. Imagine not watching the whole first episode.
That first episode, yeah, Michael did that.
Who would do such a thing?
There's one of them among us.
Yeah,
I went back.
That's the thing. Like the first episode of Invincible, if you don't watch that last episode, people come away just going, "It's just a generic cartoon." Superhero
It's not
show.
that special. Yeah,
it's not special. It's like the whole point of the plot, the pilot. Is that the last? Yeah.
Definitely, like literally going back and just watching the end credit thing literally flipped my entire like. I was going to give it.
It hooks you.
I was going to give. I was still going to give it the time of day. Like I was still going to watch the series, but like Choppy said, it hooked you as soon as I like watched that last like the end credit part. I was just ready to go. I was like, hit the floor running. I want to watch it all now.
I haven't watched it in a year, and I'm probably going to start watching it again.
Well, we haven't even had any news of when we're meant to expect the next season.
They're working on it. They've started voice recording.
Oh, good.
Exciting.
Don't rush it. I don't want them to rush
But
it.
kind of rush it because I really want to see what you guys do. Like all the changes Invincible has made are incredible. Mm-hmm. Like the changes from the comic's fantastic, but the changes from the comic are awesome.
Yeah, they're doing a very good job over there. Both Amazon.
They're good on them.
Well, the only other thing I have to say about The Boys, and I hope is the same for Invincible, is that the production is just season 1 is not any different from season 3. It still feels the same. It feels like everything's still on point. Like there's no pacing, writing.
It's not like Game of Thrones.
There's no phoning it in.
Like you go back and watch season 1 of Game of Thrones, and you're like, yeah, this definitely wasn't like to the scale it was now.
Yeah, and you're just used to you turn on the new season and it just feels different, you know. But the boy, you could watch it continuously through. Like the notes they're hitting in season 3 feel exactly the same as in season 1. Like it's adrenaline inducing.
We love The Boys.
We too.
Give us more boys.
There is one other boy who wears a mask and is very creepy. Ethan Hawke.
There are multiple boys in that film, actually.
Yeah,
there's multiple boys. By the end of it, there's not many. We went to a press screening and we got to go see Black Phone, starring Ethan Hawke, the new horror movie, The Black Phone. Flown?
Drop the. It's cleaner.
Drop the. It's cleaner. Black Phone. From the director of who was it?
Scott Derrickson. Say Top Gun.
No, what was it?
Top Gun.
What a twist.
Director Scott Derrickson, director of Sinister and the first Doctor Strange.
Sinister.
Yeah.
I feel like when you told me about that, you also mentioned the director of Top Gun.
Yeah, no, we did. We're talking about
something else.
We're talking about that new Netflix movie with Miles Teller and Chris Hemsworth.
That's
right. Well, that Top Gun director, guys.
Spider, just letting you guys know. I'll leave that information out there for all of you. You can do what you want with that.
No, we saw the Black Phone. Mm-hmm. And what did we think?
Oh, it was a phone that was black.
The phone was black.
The phone was black.
I enjoyed it. I was shitting myself going into this movie because I thought it was going to be really, really scary.
It was minimal on the jump scares, but they were pretty good.
So
2 or 3 of them.
There were the biggest scares in the film were the jump scares, but they were warranted jump scares because the thing that they were doing was actually scary. Like it's not like one of those jump scares where it's just a cat running out of bush and they still put the big
and they hold a 30-second slow zoom on the bush before it happens. So you
So
whereas, in this, it was very much like it is completely warranted. Every single one was like exactly done how it needed to be.
They actually managed to immerse you in something and then jump scare you rather than just have you waiting for the next scare to come.
Yeah. And hey, the kids do a good job in this movie.
They do. Child acting in this.
The child actors are great.
Yeah, they hold it together.
They throw a child abuse scene at you early on,
Oh,
and
Jesus.
this little girl does a performance. Because oh my god, like I was almost tearing up.
I thought it was real.
like really.
I thought they actually
yeah.
beat this little girl.
yeah.
It was legitimately hard and horrible
Yeah.
to watch. Like you every single second it continued, you were just sitting there going, "Oh my god, this is horrifying. This is the horror part of the movie.
Yeah.
I want this to end." And
But then they really build up this little character of this little girl because obviously she deals with that shit. She's not too scared about talking to other adults.
in an incredibly adult way.
Exactly, and she has some great dialogue, especially with the police
What about the
investigators.
What about the fight scene?
Yeah,
Earlier on in the film,
fight
she
scene.
fucking rocks that kid in the head with a rock.
there is.
There's a lot of bullying themes. And their depictions of it is just like,
I love the part
I would
though.
not want to go to this middle school.
I love the part though where she smacks the kid in the head with a rock. He just starts bleeding heaps. He goes and sits up against the
He's having
fence.
a little freak out.
And then they beat the shit out of her, and then she just goes up and sits next to him by the fence, and they both just continue to watch.
They're both out of action.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the most like that is so believable for a middle school. Like it's just it's weird.
This has been out in
This
has been out in the US for a little bit, and I will say that we're probably going to go into some spoilers for the Black Phone. So if you're not ready for Black Phone spoilers, anywho, but I'm not going to go on spoilers right now. I'm just prefacing that if I have spoilers to say, this is not a safe space at the moment.
Ethan Hawke as the bad guy.
Fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant. He
Love
does
that
such
the
a good
mask
job
kind of
at
just changes, and he can.
Him chopping and changing the mask to be smiles or frowns and
gave them
nothing
multiple
at the
faces
start.
to that even evil character as well.
Yeah. And it's such a integral part of his whole freaky weirdness. He's clearly unhinged.
I mean, he's got the whole magician vibe, and he's doing the laughing and the
trap them
chattering.
in. Yep.
Yeah.
The whole idea of the balloons and the van is just. I mean, this is set in the late 70s.
I thought it was early 80s. No, it was like I don't know.
I think it was like 78 or something.
Yeah.
78.
And
Michael, how do you know?
I've looked it up. I was looking at the thing. Oh no, what are you talking about? I saw the movie. My favorite part was when the black phone rang. That was the best part. Clearly,
that does happen.
It did happen. The phone did ring.
Look at that! I don't even have to see the movie to know what happened.
It's about a phone, Michael. What do you think's gonna happen?
We get a text message.
It's not in the. It's in the title. It wasn't a very big stretch. Okay.
Oh my god! But yeah, Ethan Hawke straight up. Yeah, all the kidnapping stuff is also horrible to watch.
Yeah, Brayden, I thought that wasn't the word coming out of your mouth. I thought you were about to say awesome, and I was about to just be like, right on the side.
Love the kidnapping.
Kidnapping, excellent.
Some of the best. We have the best kidnapping ever. No.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, hands down, the idea of the balloons, like to hide it,
was pretty good.
Terrifying.
Yeah, smart guy. I loved early. I
didn't realize. Very, very quickly. I didn't realize going into this, but when it came up in the opening credits, I was like, oh my god, this makes complete sense. It's based on a Joe Hill short story. Joe Hill being the son, another horror writer of Stephen King. And that makes so much sense going further into the movie.
It does.
Yeah, there's some things that I don't love in the film. Thought it could have been tighter. Yeah, so...
start is it's quite a slow burn.
It's a slow burn. It takes a while to get to the thing.
Yeah, we all had that sense where we really liked the plot and like the things that happen, but it didn't click in a masterful way together.
And then
maybe that's
My other thing is that when we finally get there, I believe there are only 2 acts to this film. There is Act 1 before everything happens, and then in Act 2 when he gets taken by Ethan Hawke. And to me, that all merges into one act. There's no separation between him being trapped and then the finale. To me, it kind of it's just one big chunk. I never felt, in a film.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to kind of.
There's not really that low point that leads into.
Not really a low point, but like when you're watching a movie and you go, "Oh, we've just hit Act 3." Like, here's our
Yeah.
third act. To me, I never got that in this film.
Yeah, like
It's probably made when it
'Cause
goes from
there wasn't an Empire Strike
individual.
Back moment.
because well, okay, now we're getting into a little bit of spoilers for the Black Phone. So skip ahead if you want to get to the Thor review. I think like even if you try to call it like Act 3 is from when the first kid is trying to help him over the phone.
No, that's 2. Then Act 2 is like a minute.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
I
what
would
I mean.
say-
It's like, then what did he do?
3 is when the motivation of him trying to escape becomes all the. So you think the kids are all individually trying to help him escape. Spoilers, obviously.
Mhm.
But in reality, they're all actually filling in pieces of a puzzle for the climax.
Yeah.
So maybe the climax is when his motivations change from listening to each individual kid and trying to escape to we start heading into this.
But there's no
Finale where he's putting it all
moment
together.
you can pinpoint for it, which is my
Not really.
kind of my criticism here. Is that it kind of just feels like there's no
Certainly, there's a change of the motivations. But
there's no
it's-
climax and there's no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the closest you get to a climax is the end of the movie.
I love the feel of
Yeah.
the film too. I really love these movies that kind of just go like when my biggest gripe with films nowadays is that Marvel's kind of fucked everything where everything's got to be funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I love humor in films that come out of like that are funny for that context. Like when she
like the little
says,
girl
"What the
from the
hell,
police
Jesus?" Or like
Oh my God.
when she says that is
Yeah.
so funny because like
Yeah.
it just works so well into what the film is and it doesn't break what the film that the themes and the tone of the film.
Yeah. And she doesn't go on about it forever or anything. It's just one moment which just
it feels
breaks the
completely
tension
natural.
for the audience to breathe.
It feels completely natural. Like I was very happy that this film definitely did not try to be a comedy as well. Well, not like a comedy, but like
It didn't try to do the like
Didn't
mainstream
force any
blockbuster
jokes.
movie thing.
yeah,
Like nothing in the script was written as a joke.
no.
Like that character was
The only thing
just
that could
funny, yeah.
be considered comedy is the brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Oh,
even
yeah.
then,
He is a bit of comedic
coming
relief,
through.
actually.
yeah,
He kind of
he's
is.
also he's older Eddie.
He has like
barely
20
there, though.
seconds of screen time.
You know who the actor is the same actor as old Eddie from It Chapter 2.
Oh.
You
That
know,
makes so much sense.
you know the hypochondriac kid? He's the
Yeah.
older version of him from the second It film.
God.
Um,
Honestly, while the film was happening, I was like, man, this guy looks a little bit like something like you can't afford Jake Gyllenhaal, but you got this guy.
which is funny
was good, though.
because everyone's dream casting for old Eddie in It Chapter 2 is Jake Gyllenhaal. And they got this
Well, there
guy.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hold on.
no,
That's
so
who he reminds me of, Jake Gyllenhaal. I couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah. The second his face appeared, I was like, oh, you look a bit like Jake Gyllenhaal.
That's what it is for sure.
in terms of what I was gonna say, no, I love that we didn't see the kids get grabbed. Each time it led up to that, you just saw the van and that was it.
And then it would just
left
fade
it
to
into
black.
imagination.
I loved
Left it into
that.
And then when it actually happens, it's like,
I love like the dream walking
yes.
sequences with the
Yes.
young girl, how everything was filmed like old style. It was very grainy.
Yeah.
So
And
there's
they
the
kept
one-
intercutting it as well, and it gave it this really like off-putting vibe.
the Stranger Things sequence
Fox on the Run.
Yes.
was amazing.
Yeah.
And then the little girl also in that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like her just climbing into the police car with him and everything. Like,
Yeah,
was a
how
great-
She comes in.
Yeah, that was a great moment of us seeing one side of the conversation, then it backtracks and we see the other side.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like other than some physics flaws with a certain cable going up carpet.
I don't think anyone saw that and was like, "Oh, he's going to use that to push the cable up." No, they're like, "Oh, he's going to try and climb up it."
Yeah, he
Right?
pushes the cable up that does not how that would work. That would not work like that.
No
Also-
one would decide that the rug is the tool to feed the cable up a wall. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
And the cable
Also,
goes through the bars.
And then it just really magically in CG, because they couldn't film it normally, it just goes and then just curves back around immediately.
Like, he had a
Amazing.
tube. He had a tube.
The-
It's a perfect tool.
The phone cable at one point is really easy to break, and then at another point it really isn't.
Yeah.
No, Brayden, he cut that with the knife.
Oh, well, he wasn't holding anything. He just did it.
He didn't have what knife?
Oh, bless.
Oh no, not the knife. The little,
Cut it with his NASA.
the NASA
Saturn
pen,
V,
the
with his
NASA
I mean,
flashlight.
I mean, it's a random Blumhouse.
Oh, it's
fairly
absolutely
low
like
budget
this.
horror movie.
He also stabs Ethan Hawke with the Saturn V, which is good.
Um, yeah, I loved like the fact that they were warning him, like, don't go upstairs, it's a trap, so he can beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, oh, that was great. And then that one shot where you see him at the bottom of the staircase, and you get this really slow pan, and then they reveal Ethan Hawke there.
Sitting there.
Terrifying.
Loved the scene where
every time Ethan Hawke entered, it was great.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke being asleep and him trying to get the combination to leave. That was a great scene or sequence. Just the way that was shot, where you can always see Ethan Hawke in the back.
Yeah, I was honestly the entire time just watching that one point, expecting his head to turn or something.
I think it's the first time we see upstairs is when he's warned, "Oh, don't go up," like he wants you to. And then it's the first time we peer up at the same way he would peer up, kind of coming around the corner, and that's when it's the most freakiest shot of Ethan Hawke. He's got his shirt off. He's rocking
A dad bod.
He's not looking bad. I mean,
I mean, he was weirdly quite clean shaven.
Yes, yeah, he was like very
hey,
clean
good for
looking.
him.
But yeah, he's just kind of manipulating his muscles and stretching and adjusting his position, but doing it in the most methodical, like crazy person way. You know, just
so unsettling
his
to watch.
neck, and there's like yeah. Ethan Hawke, everybody.
Very good actor.
I really enjoyed the film. Other than it, probably being a bit tighter, the beginning dragging on a little bit longer than I feel like it should have. But they're setting a few things up. There was some couple bad dialogue moments when some kid mentions his dad in Nam.
I think there are a few things
the
like
funniest
that.
shit.
There were a lot of story points which I felt like could have spent more time on or less time. I'm sure if it was a short story or a novel, they would expand upon. Like there's the whole how the girl was touched, and there was small mention of her mother and her backstory, but she's just a bit supernatural. Yeah.
And then the police are totally cool with it. They're like, "Oh, sweet, we got this little dream-walking vision girl."
Yeah, they kind of go serious for a second. Like, how do you know about the balloons? Like, obviously it wasn't in the dream, so what the fuck's up?
And then they're just like,
And
they're just like, oh yeah.
We're sending all our reinforcements on this one lead.
Little girl says it's here. Let's break in.
No warrant. The 80s was a different time.
I mean, it was the 70s and 80s were the wild, wild west. So
it's all a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I ended up giving it a 3. I
gave it 3.5. I enjoyed it. I would watch it again. Well, I don't know. I could be on a rewatch. I could really feel the length.
I'd probably feel the length. I think this would be a really fun one to watch.
Probably an hour and 40, but hour 48, but you feel every minute of it.
Yeah,
it's one where if I catch someone watching it, I might sit down.
Yeah, I think this is the most fun to watch when you're with people, because as we were watching it, and it was us sitting there in the theater, there was nothing more than I wanted was for us to crack a quick joke in the middle of something.
Did you hear Alexi freak out at one point?
About it? No, what part was that?
The first jump scare with the kid, and he just turned to me and goes, "Bro, that scared the shit out of me."
I remember that. Yeah.
I was just silently hugging my popcorn, like.
Whereas it was the Nam line that got me.
Oh my god!
So there's this kind of badass kid, and the only explanation, the only backstory,
Karate Kid.
Yeah, the only backstory to his character is just like, my dad fought in Nam, and he didn't leave his friends behind, so neither will I.
Dude, when I think I turned to you and mentioned the cable going up the rug, and I just went, "That's not how that works." And then after he smashes open the wall with a porcelain toilet lid that would definitely break.
The ceramic toilet top. They made them different back in the day.
Yeah, and then when he smashes that, it cuts to another shot of it, and it's perfectly square now. And Chris just turned to me.
It's instant, the cut.
Chris just turned to me and went, "Oh yeah, time to square it off."
Yeah, he made it perfect. It was like...
Yeah,
like it was clearly made with a saw.
Gone.
If you're gonna
Yeah.
do it, at least do it properly. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do a good
small
job.
continuity error there. Don't see them too often.
More like
when
the
they're that
black
obvious.
camera.
They're classic.
Yes.
But yeah, I do recommend people go watch it. I think it's a good little horror movie.
Yeah, I think it's a good film. I think it's very enjoyable, a good film. 3.5. I'd give it 3.5.
All right. Now it's the big one. Michael, time to jump in this conversation.
Michael-
Oh, I can. I'm actually
Tag-
watch this one.
Tag
Watch
him
this
for
one.
Chris. I want a hot tag of Chris.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'll just mute my mic for half an hour.
I definitely changed my camera. Hang on, when I did that.
Yeah, a little bit. It came out the 4th Thor movie from Marvel.
Love and Thunder.
The second Thor movie from Taika Waititi, very clearly. Thor: Love and Thunder. We've got 2 Thors this time.
We do.
And I mean, we'll start with no spoilers, obviously, because we want other people to feel like they can go see it if they want to.
Oh,
Brandon talks like
who's
that, it doesn't
starting?
really give
Who's
me hope.
starting?
I didn't love it.
Yeah, look,
I
that was
didn't
the
thunder it.
one
I know. I hate Me Too.
a little bit, I guess. That's the only part of the title left for me to try and go with here.
And
I ended it quite a bit.
yeah, this is so my first takeaway coming out of this
Takeaway.
movie was very much my first takeaway was this is like everyone being like, yep, okay, cool, we're cool with you doing all the Marvel movies and superhero movies and stuff, but don't lock the creators down in like, you have to do these things and let the creator do whatever they want. And it's Taika Waititi, and they really, really,
Ran with it.
really let Taika Waititi do whatever they wanted.
This does bring me to a thing that I wanted to quickly talk about.
Talk about it, Mike.
I saw a TikTok maybe a day or two afterwards, and it was someone talking about the movies, and he was talking about the thing with obviously Doctor Strange, the second one, and this Thor was there's nothing to really impact on like the Marvel universe at this moment from them.
But I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no. So these 2 movies are literally made for the creators. Like the Doctor Strange is a Sam Raimi movie because it's like it's him all over, and this is like a really Taika Waititi movie. Like they're not Marvel movies as such, apart from like characters. They're like products of their creator.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a very good point. It made me actually think about it a bit, and it made me think about Doctor Strange a bit more, and has made me want to rewatch it because after the Thor, I was still like, I think I thought this Thor better than Doctor Strange, but after hearing that, I'm wanting to give Doctor Strange another go around and see how I feel after.
I liked Doctor Strange better.
I also like Doctor Strange better. This is a weird one for me because I've always been a big advocate of, like, you know how there's the incredibly vocal comic book community who are like,
No.
you ruined our movie there.
No, the comic book community is not vocal.
Nah, not at all. This is no joke the first movie where I've caught myself going, man, just the comics did it so much better. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they did a lot of things dirty.
Do you guys
had so
feel
much
like
potential.
they took all the things that made Ragnarok really, really good and just tried to run with those things, but throw it in your face at the same time? Is that sort of feel like a valid?
Korg, yeah. Look, I miss Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk in this one quite a bit.
He was quite a good grounding force.
Look, the more I think about this film, the less I like it. A lot of the comedy was very hit and miss. I'm open for directors to do their own thing, as long as it works inside the MCU, and they're kind of, you know, one of my favorite Marvel films is one that people don't love, and that is Iron Man 3. Because Iron Man 3 is a Shane Black movie before it's a Marvel film.
Yeah.
And this is a Taika film before it's a Marvel film.
Yeah.
but I don't think it's a very good Taika film.
No, there's two, like, again, like you said, the more I think about this movie and reflect on it, the less I like
Yeah.
it.
I love Jojo
Just-
Rabbit, by the way. I love
Really right.
Jojo Rabbit. It's
Yeah.
one of my
Jojo
favorite.
Rabbit is
Yeah.
a masterpiece.
I think
Beautiful film.
when it comes to I think Ragnarok ran that line of being an MCU movie but being a Taika movie.
Well, there was
really
a lot of.
well.
It wasn't just a Taika film though. Ragnarok. There was a lot of other people. Like there
Yeah.
there was a few scripts that went through. Ragnarok.
Might I say it had a normal script
And then Taika
with a
came in and
normal
punched it up.
plot. And then Taika came in and gave it his Taika-ness, which
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
is what made that movie work.
Yeah, I think
This
like
is
sort of they
just
walked
the
that line of
Taika-ness.
like taking a normal MCU movie and like taking that what they have originally and then giving to him to spruce up, whereas they've literally given him this from the get go and be like, all right, just run 3.
There was a lot of things in this film, comedy wise, that just I didn't find funny.
Yeah,
The goats.
Or this
the
reminds
ghosts get very old very quick.
the goats. They were
And by old, you mean like it would have been funny in like 2010.
to me. It was with the goats. The original joke of the goats, where they're kind of the people that they just kind of did something great for. They come out and they go, "Oh, it's our tradition to give you guys these presents," and clearly they just wanted to get rid of these screaming goats.
Yeah,
And that was the funny part of the joke, was that
that's a
here's-
really good joke.
yeah, not when they're in the rest of the film screaming every
Yeah.
moment they get a chance.
Yeah.
So
The
then
second
they
you
just
land
comic
on it.
relief.
There's one joke that you pointed out that really didn't hit you choppy from the start of the movie.
It's Thor riding
Oh,
Stormbreaker
Yeah,
like the Wicked Witch of the West.
oh.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Look,
So he pulls Stormbreaker out of the ground, and it's covered in like roots and vines because it's been there for a while.
Because it's part of Groot.
Yeah, because it's
So,
like a tree
it's
as
starting
well.
to grow.
Yeah, it starts to grow on the ground, and he pulls it out, and then he just hops on it and rides it, like fully comedically. You see him in the background riding it and everything too.
Is he doing like a witch laugh?
Almost.
He's very
Wouldn't be
smiley and
surprised.
happy about it.
yeah,
It's
he seems like he's real high.
it's just so weird and so like I just
Sounds very out of
didn't
character.
find it funny.
Yeah,
It was really like I think I would have found it funnier if he was like, all right, cool, let's go do this, and he didn't even like swing the axe. If he just held it out in front of him and he just sort of started travelating.
To me,
Like,
there's
yeah.
a lot of jokes in the film that kind of were funny, but they just kept going.
Mm-hmm.
The love triangle between Mjolnir, Stormbreaker, and Thor.
was
yeah.
funny at the start, but got
The,
old.
the first part of it that was funny was when Thor was kind of looking at Mjolnir, and then the hammer just slowly came into screen, like Braden just
Yeah.
did. It just went like,
Yeah, had me like legitimately like just very
Creeps in,
and,
yeah.
and it's a gigantic axe, like
Yeah.
hilarious, very funny.
but then like
Yeah.
they just keep running with the joke that like Thor keeps walking up to the hammer, the axe throughout the film. He pours beer on it, goes, "Here's your first beer, buddy." He
Trying
goes,
to
"You know I love
apologize to
you."
it.
Yeah, he
like-
apologizes to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that
you finish.
I just needed movie needed more Valkyrie. Valkyrie was extremely underutilized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before
Talk
we
about underutilized characters.
say
like-
that, I do want to say like in the moment, it definitely got a lot of quite a few chuckles. I don't think there was heaps of like out loud laughing, but definitely sitting back and reflecting on the things like they're not as funny. Like in the moment, they seemed like because you're in the movie, watching the movie and stuff. But
See, it
definitely,
didn't make me laugh. Like
afterwards-
even in the movie, I wasn't laughing at some of this.
it's very
In the
fair.
theater I was in, like I can honestly only think back to maybe 2 or 3 moments where I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, everyone is laughing right now."
The only
Yeah.
time the goats got a laugh after the first time they appeared was when they slammed into Christian Bale's planet.
Yeah, and when they land, and oh no, yeah, when it's a perception joke. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about Christian Bale. Christian Bale. He is in a different movie than everyone else.
Oh
and
yes.
I want to go watch his movie because
Yeah.
he is like the man can't do a bad performance. He is incredible in the film.
He's
this-
genuinely like creepy and menacing.
Although he
this
only has
movie
about
is
15 to
just
20
under-
minutes of screen time.
It's just under 2 hours long. There is another half hour of this movie that could make this movie fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Christian Bale
And
being.
I've heard stories that Taika Waititi just went out and shot a bunch of stuff, and then went to go into the in editing. He wanted to make it into a movie. Like he went and just went, editing, we'll put it together and we'll make it the film. You know,
and if we've learned anything about not planning things, we know that Disney are very good at it.
He just had a massive script that he went and shot it all, and then there are scenes.
Put the pieces together.
Do you know who filmed scenes for this movie? Peter Dinklage, Jeff Goldblum, Lena Headey, all filmed scenes for this movie.
Wow, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, and
you start to think, how did any of that get cut?
Exactly.
It's under 2 hours. What is going on?
So yeah, it's just a lot of things I feel like are different in just didn't work well in the film for me.
Yeah.
And going into some spoilers, in the beginning of the film, when we get this really big emotional scene with Bale and his daughter dies in the opening of the film. And then we cut to this conversation with this god.
Yeah.
Which looked awful.
Yeah, that was really weird.
The CG making him look bigger was very, very off-putting.
What's this guy's name?
I don't know what
Who's
the god.
bad CG?
I'm pretty sure he's a fictional god.
Yeah,
I want to look it up. Isn't it? Doesn't he fight Zeus or something?
Russell Crowe is Zeus in the film.
Oh, okay.
Russell Crowe is Zeus.
Which
I will say, Michaela didn't know going into this movie. So the second he appeared on screen, Michaela just in her seat next to me just went, "Oh my god!"
I also didn't know that it was Russell
God,
Crowe,
even
and
better.
I sat there debating in my head, like, that really looks like Russell Crowe, but there's something off. Like, it doesn't, but it does, but it doesn't, but it does.
Yeah.
It was literally the same thing of me sitting there the entire.
how was your
and was really wondering if it was Kit Harington or not.
How
It was
was,
that. It was that sort of moment in my head.
Braden? How's your reaction to the dumpling god joke?
Dumpling God, I liked. I liked Dumpling God.
I felt like a bit of like a Lego movie sort of
Exactly.
thing to me.
That
Yeah.
felt- yeah.
It felt
it was
very,
just sort of-
that moment felt very like.
I didn't
when
mind all the stuff.
Lego movie. There's all the other Warner Brothers properties.
I didn't mind all the stuff in that god place. I thought that was all right.
Yeah.
I
think it.
I didn't mind Russell Crowe.
All right. I'll save spoilers until the end. Yeah, I didn't mind Russell Crowe too much. Completely underutilized people. Valkyrie.
Yep.
Tessa Thompson. Completely underutilized. Would have been fantastic.
Oh, that joke
Valkyrie.
with the grenade is awful, by the way.
Oh, it goes way too long.
Yeah,
It's
it
too
just
slow.
grounded the movie to a halt.
Yeah, it's rough. Obviously, Christian Bale, Gore the God Butcher, severely underutilized, and I'll talk more about that when we talk spoilers. And fucking Natalie Portman as Mighty Thor.
Mm-hmm.
How did you underutilize her? Like, this film does nothing for her, and Natalie Portman's trying her best with what she's been given, but just from a sheer story perspective and a sheer character development perspective, they made Mighty Thor, like Jane Foster as Thor, completely like not important
Also,
in any way.
Disney, I know you love it. And it works well in The Mandalorian. But we got to stop the volume. We got to now. Not for
You can't
big blockbuster movies.
You can't use it as much as what you are currently using because it's starting to be very noticeable.
They used the volume type technique in Batman, and they did that to get the perfect hour, which is what they call in movie the perfect hour. I think Braden knows what I'm talking about. The moment where the sun is setting, you get that big, nice orange hue, glow.
Yeah,
and it's a lot easier to film that when you're not on a time crunch.
Yeah, so they used it there, and it works great. It looks great there. But in this, there was many moments where like it just kind of really showed
The entire sequence with the Guardians at the start.
Yeah,
is very noticeable that it's the volume.
Thor, the Battle of Asgard scene where Thor first meets Jane. It's in the trailer, and you can see it. But yeah, that was noticeable there. I thought Idris Elba's kid, when his head popped up, I thought that looked noticeably bad.
Yeah,
when his head just floated.
Yeah.
The disembodied head did look a bit janky. Yeah.
I liked that kid though.
Oh, I love that kid.
I thought that kid was great.
Everyone's
this
saying-
film is very focused on kids.
which I don't mind.
Yeah.
Apparently, Chris Hemsworth and Taika's kids drew the shadow monsters.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but like, if I don't want to shit on it too much, but
Yeah.
to say some positives, like Chris Hemsworth kills as Thor. People keep complaining that they made Thor extremely dumb. Like Thor's just an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't care. I think Chris Hemsworth plays he loves playing this character now, and good on him.
Is Thor meant to be this like genius, or is he just meant to be this big brute of a dude? Like,
He's just meant to be a guy finding his place in the world, I think, at the moment.
yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, he's definitely like in a personal sense.
which I
he's
feel
in a
like should have
point
been
of being
the plot of
completely
this
normal.
film, especially after
And then
Endgame.
it very much wasn't.
Yeah, like it should have just been him finding his place in the
It was
world.
a
Now that
rated montage that went
Yeah.
for 30 seconds.
Valkyrie's taken over Asgard, and he's not an Avenger anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
But I
Alright, should we start?
loved the scene on Gore's planet, the action scene.
Oh,
Yes,
when
the
when
fight.
it was all black and white except
Well,
for
except
their
for the lightning
weapons.
bolt.
Their
colourless.
their weapons illuminating color. That was a great sequence, and that was a great action scene.
visually
Yes.
fantastic.
Awesome.
And also like the creepiness of before that fight even
Oh,
kicks off.
yeah.
Is
Gore
really well done.
interacting with the kids, incredible.
Oh, I think my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, he was so creepy, but so like,
Yeah.
he was amazing in that scene. That scene was very well done. People have complained about the scene when Thor goes in to talk to the kids and Valkyrie's tickling his nose with a feather. People were like,
yeah.
this is an important part. Like, they need to get this information from and to the kids, and you're kind of there fucking with Thor.
Yeah. I mean, one big criticism that I did see, I think it was Polygon wrote in their review, they think that this movie is purely a vessel for jokes. And
Yeah.
anytime there is any point of meaningful character development, meaningful plot, and emotion of any kind, it has to be a vessel
joke,
to
yeah.
prepare a joke. And
Look,
it
I
has
can
to be
definitely,
undercut with a joke.
I can definitely see that, and definitely talk about some of these moments. They really do that.
But here's the thing. Like, I mentioned it before. That great movie, Jojo Rabbit. Jojo Rabbit handles serious subject matter with comedy intercut into it so well.
Yeah.
I like, it really baffles me that the same person who made Jojo Rabbit made this.
Yeah, it feels like a swing and a miss.
Yeah.
It is. I think that is a very good way to summarize this. Like, I definitely wanted it to be better than it was, especially coming off of Ragnarok. Like, I had quite high hopes for this movie.
Yeah,
I bought the skins in Fortnite.
let's, and that's a review in of itself. I think I gave it a 3.5.
I've dropped it to a
3.5.
2.5.
I've dropped it to a 2.5.
I'm on a 3.5, but I'm definitely going to give Doctor Strange another
Where am I putting it?
well,
I
because
think
that's sitting
I
at
really
3
like
for
Doctor
me at the
Strange.
moment now.
I think
So
I
they
dropped
might
it
end up swapping.
today thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, the more I think about it, the lower it's going to keep going. So in a
Maybe we
week's
should
time,
stop
it'll
thinking
probably
about
be
it.
a 3. I'm just going to stop thinking about it. We should talk spoilers.
I have it here.
I want to talk
If you
spoilers.
can see it. Oh, you won't. Do you
Oh,
see it just next
I
to
cannot
Ant?
see that.
So it's
Not
in between.
focused.
No, I can't focus it.
Between Ant-Man and...
So it's between Ant-Man and better than Ant-Man, worse than Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
can see that.
Which sits it, because I'm going to keep annoying Braden here, at number 18 out of 29 in my MCU.
Damn. Yep, in the bottom half. Definitely. Okay.
Well, guys, I'm
Spoilers.
thinking.
Spoilers right now, and this is one of my biggest issues with this entire film. He's called Gore the God Butcher, and he kills one person on camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're showing a strewn of gods being killed in
One.
like a bit of a distress montage across the screen, like sort of
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah,
yeah,
you
definitely
see,
only
like-
seeing him kill one.
You see photos of like three
Dead.
or four other
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
And we see Thor visit the big one, which is the iconic shot from the comics.
Mhm.
And you're like, okay, wow, he killed that big guy. Gore must be really strong. And you've only seen him kill that one guy in the opening scene. And you're like, oh man, he's called the Gore the God Butcher.
The Gore Butcher.
He's incredibly scary with his shadow demons and stuff, his big sword. He can travel through shadows, he's terrifying. Surely we're going to get a really cool action sequence with him just decimating a bunch of people. Nope.
Kate Blanchett got that.
Kate Blanchett got that. Kate Blanchett got to have a lot of fun with that.
Is it really apparent that Taika did not give a shit about any of Thor's friends from the first two films?
Oh god, yeah. I mean, making fun of Lady Sif even existing
Yeah.
was... Oh, and like glossing over like Korg in the narration being
Yeah.
like, and that guy, and that guy, and that guy. It's
Yeah.
like, wow, you just did everyone so dirty.
Yeah, Taika did not give a shit about them at all.
Yeah. Tell you who else Taika did not give a shit about is Jane Foster and her story of dealing with cancer and being human.
Yeah.
And trying to be a god. He just didn't care.
That was one of my things where it's just like they didn't balance that with a comedy well at all.
No. Could have been really emotional, really good. I liked that first scene where she's sitting there getting chemo and she talks with the person next to her and
Yeah.
They dropped Interstellar.
yeah, like that's hilarious. Like that entire scene where it was mainly comedic, but the entire premise of it is that she's sitting there getting chemotherapy.
Yeah.
So like it's a funny scene.
She's
with
trying
this
to
emotion behind
she's
it.
trying to make light of a bad situation. But like it feels like it's just someone who's going through that situation. It's not like they're trying to shove some jokes down there to make you think the situation of chemo. The other thing, it's not to do with the comedy, but the sort of the scene before the big fight scene in the end when like Thor leaves her in the hospital and they like genuinely have like the heart to heart of like, I don't want you to do this because I want to like come back to you sort of thing.
Yeah.
That was good because they didn't shove comedy in it. Like that was meant to be a hard scene. It's like, if you do this, you will die. Like, and I don't want to lose you again sort of thing. And it was like that moment, like that was a nice moment without comedy.
I also just have like, and this is where I start to get very like, you had so much good stuff to work with from the comics. Why didn't you just use the stuff from the comics? Like, so the entire premise in the comics is that she is actually just straight up worthy of having Mjolnir. She didn't need drunken
Thor's magic voice, Rich.
to just be like, hey, give her permission, like to wield Mjolnir.
With saying that though, I do love the scenes between him and her in the beginning where they kind of have to fill in their relationship. I love those scenes.
I liked all that.
And I love the interaction between him and his adopted daughter at the end too.
Yeah, that one I did actually quite like, even if I have no idea how I feel about where the fuck this plot is going. Who knows?
Because Thor will return apparently. Dude, Hemsworth must love playing the character because I really thought this might have been his last one.
Yeah, I expected this one to be the passing of the torch.
Yeah.
And
nope.
Nope. What was I thinking? And then for some reason, Jane having Mjolnir now is for some reason killing her with no explanation as to why.
Is that not in the comics?
In the comics, they give you an excellent reason why.
Why is that?
Because when you wield Mjolnir, it completely reinvigorates you and brings you to the peak of like your ability and beyond.
Yeah.
But because of that, the chemicals in chemotherapy get completely rinsed out.
Ah.
So whenever she wields Mjolnir, it reverts her back to her natural state. Which completely removes...
What was the thing in the movies? It's just that it was using
It was
all of
literally
their
just like, it's sapping her of her strength. And it's like, you had a perfect reason why. and you just gave it some bullshit reason that we've never heard of before for anyone
Do
using
you guys
Mjolnir?
think that they tried to make this one a bit more kid friendlier? So like when it does come to these sort of topics, they don't a push too hard with explanations. They try and keep it sort of dumbed down, and
I can see that. I can also see it just being that Taika and the other writer didn't
Has
really
Thor
care.
ever been able to transfer his power to people before?
I think very, very, very occasionally.
Because I feel like all of the Wakandans could have used that when fighting Thanos.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that felt a little like, oh, okay, this feels OP, but sure.
Oh, it felt just very last minute. It's never been set up that he can do this.
Yeah.
It felt very Shazam, the end of the first Shazam film.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, you're right. And that was another like family-friendly movie as well.
I
so-
love Shazam, by the way.
Yeah,
Love that
Shazam's
person.
great.
I like the whole thing with like now a big spoiler. Obviously Jane Foster dies and goes to Valhalla, where we get to see Idris Elba, which is great.
I reckon we should have seen Loki. I reckon Loki.
That would have been great.
I reckon Loki should have shown up there.
That would be
It
very
would have been
cool.
a good way to put Hiddleston, because this Loki in this universe is dead,
He is dead,
and
so
he
should be
died
dead.
in battle protecting.
And he died honorably.
Yeah, so I feel like he should have popped up here. It would have been good to
That would
have.
have been a cool moment. So that brings us to the first of our end credits sequences.
That's the second one.
No, that was the last one, wasn't it?
That was the last
I'll
one.
get to the first one in a sec.
Can I get to the first one?
I was going to talk about that in a minute.
Do you know
if
who's
want.
playing Hercules?
Yeah, I did see who's playing Hercules.
He's here. He's
I
there.
was not
He's every
expecting
fucking
that.
where. Roy Kent.
Okay.
Roy Kent's playing Hercules from the MCU, Christian.
Okay, that's cool. I'm in.
I can't wait for just a scene between him and Thor, and he just goes,
So
Fuck.
Zeus not being dead is I instantly I was like, oh well, okay, that feels like a bit of a cop out. And then having Hercules just pop up, which is like, yep, that makes sense. It's kind of what I was expecting in this movie. I had that scene completely ruined for me because Mikhail and I were brainstorming how we would have done it. And I feel like a way better way to have sort of handled that is given us a big Gore the God Butcher scene where he completely massacres that entire space. And then end credits scene is we get a shot revealing Hercules returning to there, finding his father dead, blaming Thor and vowing to go after Thor. Which I thought would have been a nice way to solve. You're hitting two birds, one stone. You get a great Gore the God Butcher scene, and you also get a reason for why Hercules is actually sort of doing it.
yeah, I agree.
And then, getting Valhalla at the end with Jane going there. In the comics, at least, like, Odin was alive, and Thor and Odin worked together to bring Jane back to life. But then they don't give her Mjolnir to be Thor anymore. She actually becomes Valkyrie. And it becomes part of the Valkyries, at least. And she's got this really cool new weapon, and she rides on the Pegasus thing. And I can see them hopefully doing something like that with, like, her being at Valhalla. Like, they can really lean into the whole, like, her leading people to Valhalla if she is Valkyrie. In the comics, she works at a morgue to help people get there. Like, it's really well done. And I like that we're finally getting some justice for Idris Elba because he was cast very early in the MCU.
Yeah.
And he's way bigger than he was earlier. So hopefully we get more of him.
That's all I have to say.
no fucking clue what they're doing next with the kid.
I can round this off with my first thought after the movie finished, and I was like, wow, a free Guns N' Roses concert.
That's what the movie was.
That was basically it.
That was Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah. Korg the movie.
Korg the movie. Yeah. 2.5 out of 5. Yeah, always gonna have to rewatch it when you do the big MCU watch.
Yep. 3.5 from me. And we'll see if I can keep it there if I stop
Yeah.
thinking about it too much.
3.5 from me, but definitely going to go watch Doctor Strange again. So they might swap around, and I might go
watch
down
Doctor
3 and put Doctor Strange up to 3.5 maybe.
I like Doctor Strange a
I
lot.
like Doctor Strange too. I like Doctor Strange too. It's really
We all
good.
like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Whoa,
He's good. He's
That's
good.
a show.
that's the show tonight. Oh,
Ms. Marvel's still really good. The finale's this week.
I
I'm very
haven't,
excited
I haven't
for
seen
it.
the last 2 episodes.
Oh, it's been really good.
Yeah,
It's been set actually in Pakistan. It's great.
I haven't also watched the latest Only Murders.
I did watch
Mm.
that. I did watch that
So-
last night, but we'll save it till next. We can save it till next week.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
gone over
Mikhail
an
and I
hour.
are finally going to get to. Mikhail and I are finally going to get to watching Only Murders. We just finished Stranger Things finally.
Very
which
nice.
it's Stranger Things. It's very good. I don't know what else to say.
I'll jump on it very soon.
Yeah, highly recommend.
I'm keeping it up my sleeve.
Yeah,
Stranger Things.
I think with that's
Is that
our
everything?
episode.
Is that everything?
We,
everyone?
I mean, we did Thor, we did Black Phone, we did.
The Boys.
Oh, Chris, what was that movie you watched?
Oh, I watched $1 Million Baby. It's not even worth men. Look, Gran Torino was better. That's all
I haven't
I'll
seen
say.
either.
That's Chris's
Really?
whole
Yeah.
review.
Well, get out there and watch Gran Torino. Seriously, Alex. That's
I'm
I
missing,
highly recommend that one.
Eastwood one.
Yeah, I'm missing the
Yeah.
whole Eastwood era from my film knowledge. I've seen hardly any. He directed the Jersey Boys movie, so I've watched that one.
Okay. Well, but yeah, honestly, this because you can tell it's Clint Eastwood, the movie, just because a lot of the vibes. And I was just like, oh, this reminds me of Gran Torino. Kind of wish I was watching Gran Torino. So yeah, look, $1 Million Baby's got some confusing themes. It brings up this character and you love her and it brings it up and then it just takes her down for not much reason. I was trying to read a review just to try and understand it, and even they don't. Even they're like,
The
oh,
people don't.
their reviews finishes on a high note, like yeah, and it ends with the audience loving this character and having built her up. I'm like, no, it ends with the audience grieving.
Yeah, sure.
That's all I have to say about that.
Stuff.
Well,
yeah. Follow us on your podcast service of choice. Subscribe over on YouTube. Leave a like and comment below and all that jazz. Follow us on your social media of choice. Add Michael on Facebook.
Add him.
And as always,
I'm Alex,
I'm Braden.
Christian.
And I'm Michael.
and we're out of here. Good night, everybody.